and welcome to another daily devotion as we talk about challenges that they face in the early church that may be every bit as true today. Now, I know no church you belong to ever plays favorites. Like, there's not, a certain group of people in the church that are more revered than others or have plaques or special seating or special parts of their name tag that designate, the years they've been here or whatnot. We don't do that at church, right? I mean, we don't play favorites. We come up on this little tidbit in the book of Acts, and it says in Acts chapter 6 that the Hellenistic Jews, the Greek-speaking Jews, and the Jews that are Hebrew-speaking in Jerusalem, they're a little bit miffed at each other. Why? Because one group's widows, who are supposed to be on the Meals on Wheels program, has been overlooked in favor of the other group. What? These are some old ladies that are hungry, and some people are getting double, and they're not getting anything? That doesn't seem right. Some people are getting visited and others aren't. We're going to do some weddings, but not others. Do we really play those kind of games? Well, yes, human beings play those kind of games, and we still have that kind of favoritism. Whose voice gets heard, who has pull in the church and who doesn't, who gets forgotten, people who get called and who doted on, and people who are absent for weeks on end. It's one of the most painful pieces of ministry I ever hear. Pastor, I was sick for 6 months. You're the only one that called me. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I've been a member of this church for 20 years, and nobody, my friends at church, nobody has called me. Nothing says you don't really matter here when nobody notices that you're gone. And that's what they're dealing with in the book of Acts 2,000 years ago. Some of our old widows are lonely. They're forgotten. Nobody's visiting them. And so Stephen says, all right, listen, let's create some deacons. You've heard the term. And they'll go, and their ministry will be making sure that nobody's forgotten. What a great and beautiful gift that comes out of kind of the shadow side of human experience in the church. I had a guy once who said, I'd go to church, but it's just a hospital for sick Christians. And why would I do that? He's like, they're not any better than the rest of us, although sometimes they pretend they are. There's some strong kernels of truth, even though it hurt me to hear. He was saying it about my first church that I serve, and it hurt me to hear it, but I thought, some of that's true. We have to confront and look in the mirror and look at ourselves and say, we need to do better. Because, I don't want to go too long, but we're creatures of habit. People tend, fellowship hour or whatever, they go sit with their friends. Of course you do. Right? You want to be with people you like, people where everybody knows your name. Normie! And that kind of thing. Sorry for the Cheers reference. But for the person who comes down there for the first time or steps in a church for the first time, who's looking for a lifeline, because most people go to a church when they're in trouble or crisis, to see a smiling face, to be greeted with hospitality, we have to always be thinking about how we care for everyone. So nobody feels out of place, nobody feels self-conscious, nobody's worried about what they're wearing, they're not good enough. That kind of stuff doesn't belong in God's house. So let's work at it, shall we? I hope it's not something you've experienced, and if it has, I hope you come down here to 1047 Curtis and give us a chance to experience something different. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for listening.